beat a lot of things, but you can't beat the water. Water's got a mind of its own, and it's going to do what it wants to do. I ain't never seen this much water in my life. Everywhere you look, nothing but water. It look like an ocean.
They built all the backwater levees and basically built a bowl with no drain except Still Bayou, which can't drain when the river's high.
We had the right amount of rainfall, we had the river high, we had the gates closed. Everything just went perfect in that equation to create a man-made disaster.
When they shut those gates and it started to rain, we were in trouble.
We sandbag and we pump. That's what we fight every year. We won the battle in 2018 and then 19 hit. And there was no winning that battle.
My husband told me, he said, we're going to flood. And I didn't think a whole lot about it because we always get some water in our fields. We live in the Delta, it's part of life. And he told me, you don't understand, it's gonna be really bad.
It just was constant rain after rain through November and December. When things start coming up on flooding and flood issues and warnings, I get daily emails of conditions and what the backwater is expected to go to. And one of our big things is the gates, we call it, down at the Still Bayou structure, when they close and when will they open. We usually get these things, you know, in April. And we started getting these emails in January.
I had said for weeks, if they say it goes north of 95, I'm building a levee around the house. I remember people stopping and asking me, do you really think it's going to get that bad? Well, you know, I hope not. I hope I'm doing this for nothing, but I know what it's capable of. I know what can happen. Before it was over, I was afraid I hadn't built the thing tall enough.
You'd get a report and say, okay, well, it's going to crest at this. The next day it comes a rain and they say, oh, it's 2 foot higher. You know, you build levees around people's homes, and the next thing you know, you have to go back and add to them because that's not high enough.
For the first time, probably since the 1971 flood, the backwater actually overtook Highway 465 and cut the lake off completely. So that was in early March, like the first week in March. And of course from there, it was just watching the water rise.
I remember being at home one afternoon and it rained all day. I had already built a levee around the house and I thought it would keep it back until it stopped raining. But the more it rained, the higher it got.
I think March the 8th, the Board of Supervisors issued a mandatory evacuation, and that didn't end until sometime 169 days later.
By March 16th, we were boating from our house to the roads. A lot of people, it sounds real romantic, you know, boating back and forth to your house when you don't know, but it's not.
In April, you know, it started overtaking one of the major roads in our community, which is Eagle Lake Shore Road. The community started fighting it, sandbagging that road, and held it at bay for almost 2 months.
Everybody had levees around their house, but the levees were going to seep. Water was going to seep through them. So we all had, pretty well everybody had electric sump pumps.
Everybody had a generator, so as soon as it started raining, it didn't matter what time of night, day or night it was, you got up and waited in case the power went off, because if the power went off during a hard rain, you didn't have just a matter of minutes.
When I got up at 2 o'clock in the morning, I kind of checking the pumps and stuff, the water was coming down through the hallway. I mean, I had to rush my son out to bed, get him up, and we couldn't, practically get nothing. And when we got to the car, the water, I didn't know it had rose that much. The water was up to my bumper of my car, and I just did get it out of there.
West of Highway 61, it was backwater everywhere. And as the further you went south, especially when you got to Cary, then it started looking like oceans.
As the water, came up, I saw a lot of things change. We saw people's houses going underwater. Tremendous amount of roads in this county went underwater, and that changes people's lives.
The lake and the backwater equalized. The lake rose about 8 feet in 3 days and got into people's homes. That was the beginning of the end for us.
I finally just made my mind up, I'm gonna pack what I can get and I'm gone. The heat and the humidity in my house, it just ruined everything that I left inside the house. Some of the stuff I had just recently purchased in the house. I lost all that. I really did, and that hurt, it really hurt.
My son, he built his house up a little higher, and he almost made it until that last 8-inch rain we got. He lost not only his home, but they lost all their belongings.
It got up to my waist in the house. Coming so fast, I had to go. I told my wife, I said, we just must get out because we can't stop it. Well, I sure didn't want to go, but I ain't have no choice.
In Sharkey County, we had 86 households displaced in the county. Some people just didn't have much. They didn't have flood insurance, and they lost everything. They lost everything.